Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this spectacular free-player cave base. Yep, that's what we have here. You might not recognize it at first, but this is actually a free-player survival cave base. Each color indicates a different player's house, which has its own custom nether portal, it has its own custom little drop-in box, and of course, it has its own custom cave. So for instance, this one on the left, this would be one of your houses, and inside here, you would find everything that you might need to survive in a survival situation. It has almost everything that you could possibly need, and of course you are able to get up onto the roof and access your very own individual nether portal, and as can your friend, and as can your other friend. And if we slip down into one of the other bases, you'll find that it's identical to the others except for a few key differences involving the different colors of wood. So everybody gets their own nice equal share of base, nice equal share of resources, and nice equal share of nether portal. It's easy to make, it looks great, it'll make a great impact on your world, and I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. I spent a little bit of time working this out, and I'm hoping that you guys do enjoy the video. But without any further ado, let me show you how to make this thing. It's not as hard as it might look. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some oak wood, some oak wood planks, some oak wood stairs, some oak wood slabs, some oak fence, some glass, some spruce wood, and some acacia wood. Now we are going to be needing all of the materials that you can see in the inventory right now. We will need all of them. And not only that, we will be needing more stuff later on. We just don't have the inventory space. So you may have to pause this video, make sure that you have everything you see, and once you have it all, we can begin. And just to let you know, this house is about this wide, as you can see on the ground. It is from that very left-hand oak wood in the ground to the very right-hand acacia in the ground. And it is best built, yet not necessarily built, it doesn't have to be built, in front of a hill. A nice big hill or a mountain is preferable, but not required. Let's begin. So we're going to start off on the very left-hand side, and we'll work our way to the right. We'll start by making all three of the entrances, and then you have a rough idea of how wide this thing has to be. So begin by placing a row of 4 oak wood coming up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go right by 2. 1, 2. Go up 1. Right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go down 1. Right 2. 1, 2. Connect down to the ground. This is the shape you're after. Leave a gap of 3 in the ground going right, and place a row of 4 spruce wood coming up from it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Up 1, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, right by 2, 1, 2. Connect down to the ground. Leave a gap of 3 in the ground once again, and place a row of 4 acacia coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Up 1, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then down 1, right 2, and then connect down. So what we're looking for should look very much like this, and this is roughly as wide as the base gets. It doesn't get too much wider, to be completely honest. Let me show you how far back this thing goes. So, beginning with the oak, we want to take these 2 corner blocks. So this block right here, the 4th block in the original row of 4, and the one opposite, we want to extend each backwards by 10 using the oak wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we would preferably be able to connect to the ground, but it seems that we can't because we have some grass in the way. So we'll take the other row of 10, or the other 4th block, and we'll extend it back by 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And again, we would preferably be able to connect them down to the ground, but we can't do that at the moment, so we'll just connect them together. And we want to do the same with the spruce. So the same blocks with the spruce, we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and and 10. And then we want to connect each of those together. And also, if possible, because you guys might be able to, you might want to connect them down to the ground. And we want the same with the Acacia. This only poses a slight problem, because you see, whilst we can kind of connect the Acacia one down to the ground, we can't connect the others, but that's alright, because all we'll have to do is we'll just have to dig out some of the grass later on. The Acacia is definitely the least worst of all of this, and all we'll have to do literally, this is what we'll do, we'll just dig them all out when the time is right. And we might even do that now, we might even spend some time digging them out. So that's the Acacia. Why don't we actually dig out the Spruce one as well? And the Oak one I think is going to be a bit of a pain. But you don't have to dig out the spaces in between the woods. What does that mean, you might be asking yourself. So the area of space, like the rows of free between each particular part of the frame, does not have to be dug out, because it is going to be filled in with stone or whatever anyway, so you don't have to waste your time digging out the space in between. As a matter of fact, it's better if there is something. So let's work our way to this oak wood one where we do have to dig this out, because of course we want these to be hollow. These are all essentially caves. They're caves, they're little hobbit holes. I suppose hobbit hole might even be a little bit better of a term. Even if they are a bit like man-made, as mine kind of are, we will be building them up with grass later on. They're going to look very authentic, they're going to look very good. I'm sure that you guys are going to enjoy these bases very much. I know I do. I think that they're a really cool design, and especially if you make them with friends, then it's even better. It really is. So we're just going to extend all of these upwards like this. So now, as you can see, we now have 3 bases that we will be able to manipulate and turn into nice areas. So we're now going to spend a little bit of time creating a little bit more detail. So we'll start with the oak base first. We want to take this oak base, and we want to take the very first oak block that we placed, which is this one, right? And we want to place a row of 4 oak wood in this position. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like that, in that position. And the same on the opposite side, by the way. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like this. We want to place upside down oak wood stairs coming inwards from those blocks with an oak wood on top. Like this. We want to connect those oak woods together using oak wood slabs at the top, like this. And we want to place behind the oak woods, we want to place an oak wood behind and on top of those oak woods, like this. And we want to place oak wood fence in between the oak woods. And we actually want to create a little bit of a boundary going around the top of our base. We want to place ourselves some oak wood fence going mostly all the way around the top of the base. Now, we can alter this and we can mess about with this a little bit later on, but for now, this is kind of what we're going for. We want to create some very distinct boundaries. Coming back to the front of the base, we want to create a doorway shape. We're going to use our oak wood planks, and starting from inside the base, we want to create an oak wood door frame that resembles this shape. So, just to show you, we want to create a door frame which resembles this shape, and from the outside, it will look like this. So basically, you've just went all the way around the inside of the shape that you've just made. And we might even replace the corners with upside down oak wood stairs like this, just because it looks a little bit better. And we may even get rid of these these oak woods behind the stairs. Let's replace those with oak wood planks, and I think that that'll look better as well. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice now. We want to place glass behind this empty doorway. We only want to place enough glass so that we are able to place a doorway here. So you want to cover everything up with glass except for these 2 middle blocks, which will later on have a door. There's no point in placing one now because it will just get overridden later on when we replace the floor with our materials. But that is most of this particular part of the base. We're going to fill the entire top of it in using oak wood slabs. So we're just going to fill this in using oak wood slabs. Once again, just to create some very clear boundaries. It would be easier if we left the roof off to decorate the interior, but it's okay. We can just use either torches or a potion of night vision or whatever later on. It won't be a big deal. So there we go. We're going to fill the top of this in. Each particular area has its own custom nether portal, as you guys might have seen. The nether portal is situated right at the back of the build, and we want to knock out the very center block at the very back of the build. So this fence, we want to knock it out, and the fence left and right of that. We want to place in its place oak wood stairs facing sideways like this. We want to destroy the fence next to the stairs and place oak wood next to the stairs. We want to then place sideways facing stairs on top of the oak wood facing the same way as the bottom stairs. And we want to place an oak wood on the outside of the oak wood stairs, and we want to raise them up each by 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Place upside down oak wood stairs moving inwards in relation to the oak wood, with oak wood on top of the stairs, upside down oak wood stairs next to the oak wood on top of the stairs, and connected together in the center. This, later on, is going to form a nether portal. We'll be doing that a little bit later on once we grab the obsidian and stuff, and we'll light them all up at the same time. But for now, that is this base done. Let's move to the spruce base. So I'm going to throw away all of the oak wood related materials, and I'm going to grab all of the birch wood related materials, and I'm going to place the spruce wood closer. We're going to do what we did here to here. It's the same thing. So we'll start off by placing a row of 4 spruce wood coming inwards diagonally from this first row of 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to place upside down stairs coming inwards from those blocks, and we're going to place another spruce wood on top of the stairs, connected together with birch wood slabs. We're going to place spruce wood on top of this block and this block, and we'll connect them together using birchwood fence, like this. We also want to place more fence, going all the way around the top of the actual base. And now that you know where the nether portal goes, you may want to not place fence in the same blocks that we used for the nether portal. So basically you extend all of the fence backwards and move it in by 1 block either side. And whilst we're up here, we'll place a spruce wood coming inwards from each one of those fence, and we want to place birchwood stairs coming inwards from the spruce, and on top of the spruce we want to place a spruce wood next to each one of the stairs and extend them upwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. And this will be 1, 2, and 3. Place upside down birchwood stairs coming inwards from those spruce. Place spruce on top of those spruce wood stairs. Place upside down stairs coming inwards once again, with spruce wood on top, connected together in the middle. So we will have literally the same thing that we have just there on the left. Almost. So we now want to add some additional detail inside of this area, which means we'll be placing a row of birchwood planks here, just kind of sat inside of the frame of spruce wood. So basically just 3 rows of birch like this, with upside down birchwood stairs in the 2 corners to create kind of like a little bit of a doorway. And once again, I might even be so inclined to kind of just destroy these spruce woods behind the upside down stairs, just to create a bit of a warmer feel. And I'm also going to place just enough glass behind the empty space to create a bit of a doorway like this. So later on we will be placing an actual door, and as you can see we have now mirrored what we have just there on the left. Let's do this one more time for the acacia. So for the acacia we're going to get rid of all of our birchwood related materials, and we're going to put them away as nice and neatly as possible, because we'll probably need them a little bit later as well, I think. And we're going to grab all of the acacia related blocks. We're going to begin once again by placing the 2 rows of 4 acacia coming inwards from the 2 corners, like that. We're going to place upside down acacia wood stairs coming inwards from the 2 4th blocks, with acacia wood on top of the stairs. We'll place acacia stairs coming inwards from each one of the woods. Actually, we're not going to do that, are we? We're going to place acacia slabs connecting together at the top in front of the row of acacia wood. We're then going to place a wood behind each one of these blocks on top of the row, and we're going to place fence in between them, like that. And we're also going to place fence going all the way around the top of the actual cave, and we're going to extend the fence inwards by one either side at the top back of the cave, like this. And we're going to place a wood coming inwards from each one of the fence, with a stair coming inwards from each one of the woods. We also want to place stairs on top of the woods, and woods next to the stairs. We then want to extend the acacia woods upwards by 3. 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, and 3. Place upside down acacia wood stairs coming inwards from each one of those third blocks, with woods on top of the stairs. Place stairs coming inwards from each wood, wood on top of the stairs, connect them together at the top. You will end up with, once again, a nice even nether portal or nether portal frame that mirrors the other two. Now, to fill in the inside of this a little bit, first of all, I'm going to preemptively destroy those 2 corner acacia woods. And I'm going to connect those 2 acacia planks that I replaced them with to the ground and to each other. I'm then going to place upside down stairs in the 2 corners, and I'm going to place a frame of glass block that leaves just enough space for an actual door to come later. And that will be the third and final frame of the base complete. So once you've got that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, we can now talk about, I think that we're going to sort out the outside of the bases first. I think is probably the best idea, right? So to kind of like meddle a little bit with the bases, we're going to grab some grass blocks or dirt. It depends what you've got to use. If you're in survival, which I imagine you might be, use dirt rather than grass, but I'm going to be using grass. So I'm going to create a grass boundary between each one of the 3 bases. It's basically, you know, this empty space in the middle of the bases that kind of like connect each one of them together? I'm just going to build up this empty space like that, if that makes sense. So you know where we have the gaps? I'm just going to place a little bit of grass just around here, just to build up a little bit of space. You could equally use stone, you can use dirt, you can use wood, you can use glass. Glass might be cool. Glass might actually be a winning idea thinking about it, but you guys get the point. You want to add in some dirt, some grass, some whatever to connect the bases together. And here's the thing, the bases also have walls, alright? So for instance, like if we come over to this acacia base, we want to place rows of acacia planks on the outside of the empty space of the walls, like this. So on the outside of the empty space of the walls like this, to create walls. Because if we come inwards, on the inside of this, we want to do the same thing. So where we have the space in between the bases, we want to have acacia walls that are just 1 block outwards. So if you come inside the base, you'll see that you have this nice, you have an area bigger than you thought you might. And we want the same with the back as well. So we want to have a row of acacia wood coming upwards from the back, just like this. And this creates just a little bit of additional space inside of the base. It really does make a difference. But of course, we don't only want to do it with the acacia base, we want to do it with the birch, and we want to do it with the oak as well. So for the spruce wood base, the birch wood base, whatever you want to call it, we're going to... Is it birch? Which is it? It's spruce wood, right? It's spruce wood. I don't know why I keep calling it... I don't know why I keep calling it birch, but we want to place, because it's birchwood planks, that's why, but we want to place the same walls that we did in the acacia base, and if this means destroying blocks, then that's perfectly fine. And we are then, after we place all of the walls in between the base, because we do want to have solid boundaries, even if you want to create a door to each of your friends' bases, and there is ways to get into each other's base other than the front door, that's kind of what the hatches on top of the bases are for, then you can create some doorways actually inside of the bases. So this is a spruce wood one, which is looking quite good, and we're now coming inside of the oak wood one, and we're going to do the same thing. This is why I said earlier that it might have been a bit better if I didn't actually fill in the roof of the oak wood base, because I knew that I'd be doing this and I knew that it'd be a bit dark, but it's okay. We can work around this. So we're just going to destroy all of this space. We're going to create walls, and then we're going to cover up the walls from the outside. So we're just going to dig into the back wall here. I'm hoping that you guys can see. I think we've still got a decent amount of light. Hoping that you guys can see what I'm up to here. Same thing as we've done 2 times before. Going to fill in those walls. Going to make it so that we have more space on the inside, and honestly, you can keep going further back as well. That's one thing you can do. You can keep going further back. But we do want to have something that should look like that. So we have all the walls complete. Now, I'm going to use grass block to cover this up. So, again, dirt, stone, wood, glass would actually be a bit silly in this occasion. But, you know, dirt, stone, natural materials are going to be used to cover up the oak wood. So now we can no longer see the oak wood on that side of the base, and we only have to worry about the acacia on this side of the base. So do your best to cover it up, because it doesn't really want to be visible. This is supposed to be kind of like a cave. It's not really meant to be like a big open area where you can see all of the inner workings. It's supposed to be quite a mystery. So you do probably want to cover all of this stuff up. It is an extended cave base like this. And you might even want to do the same on the backs as well. So on the backs we can kind of see the back of each one of the 3 caves. So we're just going to fill all of these in like this, just so that we can't see any of the inner workings. Like that. We don't want to see any of the walls. The actual woods are fine. It's just the case of like the planks that I don't really want to see. And what we also want to do, we want to fill in between the walls. So I'm actually going to use stone for this just to differentiate. I want to fill in the walls between each base, because we might feel the need to knock into the walls and create some lights and stuff. So I'm just going to place stone in between the walls of the base like this. It's a bit more of a harder material than grass. It's a little bit harder to break. And for some reason, it strikes me as a bit more of an appropriate material. So I'm going to place that, and then I'm going to grab the grass, the dirt, whatever it is again, and I'm going to cover up all of the blocks that are involved in the walls. So all the blocks that are involved in the walls, I don't want to be able to see them from the outside. That's basically it. So I'm just going to get them all filled in like this. So there we go. That's looking quite good. And I want to fill this area in too. Gonna get these all filled in just like that, and I think that is actually looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. And of course, if you want, you can kind of like mucky things up a bit by placing additional blocks in certain places to kind of make it look a little bit more natural. Although, if you are going to the trouble to build a cave base, then you're probably going to want to, you probably would have cleaned them up anyway, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it would look a little bit cleaner than you would imagine. But again, it's kind of up to you what sort of area you're actually looking for here. So, once you've got each one of those sorted, we're going to light the portals. So, just need some obsidian for this, some flint and steel. We're going to place a row of obsidian directly behind the portals, as wide as these stairs. So going from left to right behind the actual stairs, we're going to place a row of obsidian. We're going to extend it up, coming up as high as the actual as high as the oakwood stairs at the top. We'll connect it together. So from the outside, it'll look like that, which is very, very simple. It actually looks quite nice. And we're going to place some flint and steel. And there we go. That's the sort of effect you're looking for. So you can actually make smaller portals. You can make a bigger portal if you want. What you could actually do, thinking about it, you could make one really long portal, but that might actually look a little bit weird thinking about it. So I probably wouldn't make like huge long portal. I kind of want to make another custom nether portal in the future, but we're just going to make all these the same. We're going to light them up. And if you want to, and this was kind of like the idea from the start, you can connect them to the mountain that we have behind us. So I'm only going to do this with one. I'm probably going to do it with this birchwood one. I think it'd be cool if the nether portal was kind of built into the mountains. So I'm just seeing the blocks around me, and I'm seeing that I've got some stone and some grass to work with. And I'm just going to kind of like make the nether portal attach to the mountain in a very natural-ish looking manner. So this is basically the idea. It is supposed to look like a cave system in front of a mountain. It doesn't necessarily want to be completely it doesn't want to necessarily be completely in the caves. It does want to kind of like be a little bit Hobbit hole-esque. But like this is how I envision the portals looking. So like something like this, kind of like built it into the mountain, maybe even a little bit wider than that, so that you can clearly see like the separation. So you can clearly see like it built up in front of the mountain. The mountain might actually want to be a little bit wider than the portal. Taking a bit of a look at it, maybe even some stone up here on the top, maybe to kind of just cap things off a little bit. And yeah, I think that this might look quite good once it's done. Now, I'm only going to be doing this once, just like I'm only going to be doing one interior. But this is kind of what we're looking for, something like that. And now, yes, you see now it looks as though it's proper built into the mountainside, which is really cool. So either do that to all of the others, or don't bother. It's up to you. So something that I would do though, it's time to like mess about with the floor, and it's time to kind of like mess about with the inside of each one of the caves. So I'm just building up the floor around the outside this a bit. I want the floors inside the caves, I want them to be made out of mainly stone. So I'm going to dig out the floor in the middle of this birchwood one, and I'm just going to show you how to do this once, guys, because this is from here onwards, this is a lot more about personal design choice than the structure of the place. I've kind of shown you how to build the structure. I'll be showing you how to do one interior, which you can or cannot copy. It's completely up to you. And once I've shown you how to do one, then you guys will be able to apply it to all of them or none of them at all. So we need the stone for this, and we need a little bit of cobblestone slab. We will also be needing some more stuff. So first of all, I'm going to replace the floor inside of the cave using some stone blocks. I want to use some stone blocks to fill in the floor of the cave. The floor of the cave is not going to be just stone. It is also going to be a little bit of concrete as well, which you might find difficult to get a hold of, so perhaps wool might be a better choice. Or we might even just straight up use wool to start with. So we're just filling all of this in right here, and we just want to have something which should look like this. So we've got a nice big open area of cave, right? And to extend this to the outside, we want to create like a little bit of a pathway to each one of the individual caves. So maybe like a little bit of stone, mix a little bit of cobblestone in there as well to create like a little bit of a, just a bit of a pathway like this. Something like that looks great. And what we're also going to do is we're going to add some, a little bit of a farm just left of the path. That's how I want mine anyway. Adding a little bit of a farm left of the path, and we're going to sow most of this. Actually, we'll sow all of it like this, and we're even going to kind of like hoe a little bit to the right, but we're not actually going to plant anything. Maybe even a block here and a block there as well, but we're not going to plant any of that. We also, actually thinking about it, we're going to want to have enough space for a little letterbox, or a drop-in box as I like to call it. So just maybe in front of the left-hand side of your base, maybe in front of this left outward row of spruce. I kind of like the idea of having like a chest that you just drop things into. So like, let's say you've been on an adventure, right? You've been on an adventure and you've just got some brand new stuff, some cool stuff. But you just want to quickly be able to deposit it in this chest. You know no one's going to touch it because, of course, these guys are your friends, unless they're a little bit trolly. And you're just going to be able to drop that in, and then you don't have to worry about it, and you can come back and find it at a later time. That's what that is, and I kind of like the idea of it. On the right hand side of the base, I'm just going to place some water. So I think that water's a nice design feature, and you know what, I'm just going to place, I need a base for this, maybe here as well, maybe, yeah, that'd be fine. And I like water as a design feature, so you might, so you might just want to use a little bit of water just to kind of like enhance the front of your base a little bit. And of course, do remember that you don't have to, that you can meddle with the outside of your base quite a bit. You can add more grass, you can add less grass, you could destroy some of your farm, you could build up this area a little bit as well. You could even go as far as like bone mealing some of the area too, so you could like bone meal the area, you can get some plants and some flowers and stuff, so maybe make it a little bit more homely like this. And something that you could even do, I mean, so options are, I mean, you can just add like flower pots and stuff to the front of your base. You could put trees and stuff in them. You could add some like trapdoors, make things seem very deliberate. So like if you put like trapdoors here and here, then it almost looks like a little bit of a garden feature. These are just little things that you can do to improve the look of the outside of your build. And I also like this design as well. I like to put torches with a grey block in them and an item frame, and I like to kind of stick them in the fronts of doors, item frames on the block as well, great inside the item frame, also a torch, looks great, and it just looks very deliberate then, it looks very nice like this. It's kind of up to you though, whether or not you want to do that. It depends on the sort of design that you are looking at. But that's the outside of the cave, and like I said, I'm not going to show you how to do that again. I mean, do that to that one, do that to that one, or don't, it's up to you. And we're also going to chuck a door on this. As this is the birch wood, we're going to be using a birch wood door. And of course, for the oak wood and for the acacia, we're going to be having the same. So we'll have an oak wood here, and we're going to have an acacia all the way here on the right. So just like that. So that is kind of what we're looking for. So you can kind of see how this is all going to go. You're going to see how this is all going to be made up. It's looking pretty nice so far. So let me grab some stuff that we might use for the interior. Let me dump all these materials, and then we can talk about the interior once I have got my stuff. Okay, so this is the sort of stuff that I'm going to be using to customize this particular cave. But of course, I want you guys to do what you like. I don't want to tell you what you have to do. These are just some design ideas. So first of all, I'm going to create a path that leads up to the roof. So for this, I'm going to need some ladders. And I'm just going to have a series of ladders that comes all the way up to the very top of the roof, and it's going to come all the way up the back middle part of the cave. And around this, I'm actually going to build some bookshelves. So I want to place bookshelves around the ladders in this sort of formation like this. That's looking pretty good. And I want to place enchanting tables at the base of the empty space inside. If you want to further customize this, make it look a little bit more artsy, you can destroy the top bookshelves and place like birchwood slabs inside. And we can even place some item frames inside of the empty space behind the books, and you could use items in those like bottles of enchanting, eye of enders, stuff that looks very fancy. What we're now going to do is we're going to figure out where the bed's going to be, and we're going to rip up some of the floor. So we're actually going to destroy the very middle part of the cave floor. So like this, we're going to leave 1 block from the entrance and 1 block from the bookshelves and enchanting. We're going to place a glowstone right in the center here. Actually, where does it want to be? Maybe like right in the center here if we... Yeah, there? That might actually look a little bit better. Okay, so glowstone right in the center, and I think that's the center of the wall as well, it is. And I'm also going to knock out the center of the wall, by the way. all the way through to the other caves, because what I want to do is I want to place a glowstone in the middle of the walls, like this, and I actually want to place wooden trapdoors on the side of the glowstone, just to create a little bit of a light, and it's kind of like a cool design feature as well. I like it. I'm also going to place a wooden trapdoor here, and I'm going to place beds either side of the glowstone in the floor, so 2 beds just in case you got loads of friends, but I don't, but you guys might. And I'm going to place some red wool. Concrete I think looks a bit better, but some red wool either side of the beds, and I might just sew up the I might actually replace those 2 blocks with just stone, like that. I think that actually looks kind of alright. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, and that is definitely the middle of the cave wall. And what we're going to do is, I think we're going to add some additional lighting, like in the corners of this cave. So, where's my spruce wood? I think I'm going to place some spruce wood here, and I'm going to place some spruce wood here. And I'm going to have it come downwards as well, like this. And actually, I might just create a bit of a structure. No, actually, I will. I'll have light. I'll place torches here and here, just as an additional bit of light source. And I might actually bring these blocks inwards as well in the corners, just to once again just create a little bit of an additional light feature like that. That actually looks alright, and it also shrinks the cave a little bit. And of course, we want to place some useful stuff around the place. So I'm going to use spruce wood, and I'm going to use birchwood slabs to create kind of like benches. And I'm going to use chests and crafting tables and furnaces and cobblestone wall and birchwood fence and that sort of stuff to kind of like create benches. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, like where we have this light, I'm going to place a chest underneath it. And maybe like a crafting table one side, furnace the other. I kind of want to, I'm kind of in the mood to kind of like place a birchwood fence here and here. And maybe we can place a little bit of spruce, or maybe what we can do is we can place spruce wood here instead. And we can connect it together using birchwood slabs. And maybe we destroy this original little design here. And what if we use like birchwood fence instead to kind of connect that together up at the top? And what if we just place some like slabs coming across the top, maybe destroy that middle one, bring it down a little bit to kind of create a little bit of a framework. Something like this actually looks alright. And maybe even place some like buttons and stuff, so maybe like a button here, a button here. It's always nice to have additional furnaces, so we might even have an additional furnace there and there. And if you wanted to, you could even have like additional chests next to the furnaces. And if you wanted to have that sort of like little cluttered look, you could of course place a painting. Well, that's just not helpful at all. Maybe like a painting, a single painting would be lovely. As a single painting. Okay, you know what? Let's see here. So wall. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, you know what? We can't get a single painting, but it would have been nice if we would have been able to place one. I guess that you can the paintings can go behind fences. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit better, I suppose. So if we place that, oh, you're kidding! Since when did it get so hard to place paintings? But you guys get the idea. Something nice like that. And then if you mirrored it onto the opposite side, we can have a little chest here. And we can have anvils, we can have cauldrons, we can have brewing stands, like we can have the same sort of like bench setup. How did we have it? So we can have the same sort of bench setup that we did on the other side, so maybe like an anvil here and a cauldron here, and like birchwood slabs here with spruce wood like this. And then maybe like a brewing stand next to there. And maybe once again, I mean, you might want to have like another furnace. Furnaces just seem to always come in handy. And you could even, of course, have your chests like here and here. And then we can kind of create the same sort of frame as we did on the opposite side. So we can create a little bit of a frame using the the birchwood fence to kind of just box things in a little bit like this. That actually looks quite nice. I like that. I'm not going to attempt to place some stuff on this side. I think I'm just going to chuck item frames in there, and then of course I might even fill the cauldron with water just because I'm feeling a little bit crazy. But you know, you can just add nice little design features like this. And I'm not going to fill those item frames with anything. Oh, buttons would be nice in front of these spruce woods as well. So like this, that would look quite nice. And you can see that this entire area is now looking a lot more useful. And if you wanted to be a little bit tricky, you could hide like an ender chest behind the door, and you could add maybe even like an additional chest. And I mean, they're behind the door, so they're a bit harder to see. And you could even maybe like place a birchwood fence in this position with kind of like a birchwood slab underneath it, just to kind of limit the amount of space that you can see. And I do actually kind of want to fill in those space at those like item frames that we have. So what would be quite good. So like Eye of Enders look kind of cool in frames. So does Dragon's Breath and Bottles of Enchanting. So maybe like an end crystal above here. I know that you can only get these in. I know you can only get these guys in creative, but I mean, they're cool decorative pieces if you ever somehow manage to come across one. And all we're going to do now is we're just going to seal up the top of the cave, leaving just enough space that we can actually climb up and up onto the roof. And we're just going to seal it up using our birchwood slabs, and it should look very, very nice on the inside. And whether or not you guys want to make your cave base like this, or whether you just want to kind of like make your own sort of deal, then that is completely up to you. But I think that mine looks quite nice, and I hope that you guys also think the same sort of thing. So if we now close the door, we pretend that we're just rolling up on our base. We've just had a nice little scavenge. We drop stuff into our little drop-in box. We walk into our cave, and as you can see, it's very cool inside here, and it has loads more space that you could actually utilize. You could build stuff into the floor as well. You could build stuff into the floor. That'd be kind of cool if you had kind of like a drop-down bed system and sort of like additional shelves and stuff. It'd be quite nice, but it's very cozy in here. It's very nice. Everything is absolutely useful, and it is bigger, and you can make it longer, and you can make it wider and all sorts. So let's climb up to the roof now. It would have been useful if I would have had an extra ladder there to take me the entire way. That wouldn't have been a struggle if I would have actually had that ladder there, but you guys get the idea. And all the way up here, we now have access to our roof, which we can use to either grow very particular stuff. We could use it to grow particular like enchanting. We could use it to grow particular brewing ingredients, or we could use it to even store a little bit of wildlife. You could even have a little bit of a chicken farm up here, but it's kind of completely up to you. Like I said, like the entire point of this base is just for you guys to have a little bit of fun, to kind of like alter it in ways that you think will work very nicely. And not everything has to be made to my specific specifications. You can alter yours in any way, shape, or form that you feel is a little bit more fit. I think a little chicken farm up here might actually be in order. It'd actually be a good little source of food. But I mean, a farm, a chicken farm, any sort of farm would be great. And all you have to do once you have done one cave is do it to the other two caves. So whether you want to do that by yourself, whether you want a nice big giant survival cave all by yourself, or whether you have friends to build this sort of stuff with, which unfortunately I don't, then that's completely up to you. But I'm hoping that you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. I spent quite a lot of time working on this triple survival cave, so I'm hoping that you guys appreciate the time and effort that I put into it. If you have liked the video, please do like, subscribe to the channel for more. If you click the little bell next to the subscription button, that'll ensure that you get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And of course, let me know if you would like to see more bases like this, or some different style of bases in the future, down below in the comment section. And of course, if you want to make any more bases by me, I made a lot of survival bases by now, please check out the card system, the description below for all of my other bases, and I'm hoping that you guys have a very good day. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.